Now I've had my MT09 over 5 years now, and it's had over that 5-year period had a lot of little nicknames applied to it, but Baby T-Rex seems to be the one that's stuck. And I don't know why these nicknames stick like they do, but it did. And I guess it's just the fact that, like the bigger T-Rex, he can make for a very exciting day out on the open road. We have a beautiful day here to ride today, and we're going to take Baby T-Rex and fill a tank up and go have a great day. One thing, Baby T-Rex is a little bit better on tires, a little bit easier on, especially the rear tire, than his friend Big T-Rex.
So after 2 years of a lot of small details, a lot of little things you don't notice when you until you look close or you look for a while, like there's no screws in the intakes, and little things like the trim, that thank you John Parthia for the help. It's made this bike my own.
Being nimble is such a good thing, whether you're riding, parking the bike, moving it around, pulling up to a stoplight, going through the twisties. It's your friend all the time. And this bike really is nimble. And it feels more nimble than it really is when you start riding it. It feels light, it feels nimble. I always think it feels a lot like an RD 400, and that's a pretty good way to feel, especially as a ride wears on. Now, the bike has a lot of little surprises when you first buy one, first get one and start riding it. Very soon into it, you realize that lightweight feel, it never goes away. It's always there in the turns, in the twisties, in the sweepers. It just gets more and more enjoyable. And that's kind of why we call it the Baby T-Rex. That's a funny name. Anyway, and it doesn't do other funny things that heavy bikes do. If you hit a bump in the middle of a sweeper, it doesn't get all wobbly. And some of the bikes, well, that I've had over the years, again, the only thing I didn't like about them at the end, they started getting heavy at the end of a ride. This bike, when you put it in a garage at the end of a ride, it feels just as light as when you pull down the driveway and pull out. And of course, one of the things it does real well, it turns solid senior citizens and preachers of the Bible very, very quickly into hooligans.
And my experimental wheel paint, 4:1 urethane, and that has, with the silver pigment I mixed, I did several test samples. There's a bunch of videos on how to do it. It worked out great. And for me, one of the keys, the why I like the bike, is that it fits my ergonomics. I didn't have to change the bars or the pegs or anything to get it to be comfortable. And the seat, I think they used my behind when they made the mold. But I shouldn't really say that. It is a good seat.
And over over the years that I've owned a bike, it's over 5 now, it's just been a labor of love, making little modifications, changing things. But the basic core of the bike, the engine, the exhaust system, the power plant, all of the things that make a bike fun to ride, this bike had right from the very start. And basically all the changes I made to it, when you look back over the years, they're all just cosmetic changes.
And just having fun with the quick shifter, it just adds such a nice dimension of fun to the bike. I wish I had it on every bike, but I don't. But on this bike, it's one of the things that makes it truly a fun bike to ride.
Now, since I've had this bike and I've got 5 years of riding on it, it has totally made me a believer in ABS. I have used it to my advantage, well, let's just say more than once. And I was amazed because I never had a bike until Karen got me this one for my birthday. I never had a bike with ABS, but ABS, the day you need it, it's worth its weight in gold. Now, I got to test the tires that came with the bike. They were Dunlops. I unfortunately got a flat. I had Michelin 5s on the bike, and they were fine, but when I put the Michelin 6s on, I really liked the way the Michelin 6s, number one, the way they lasted, too. They seem to be doing better than I expected, and I actually have another set ready to put on the bike when these go bad, thanks to Vlad. But it looks like the Michelin 6s, for me, are the tire of choice.
Now, there's no muffler on an MT09. There's only a catalytic converter and an exhaust outlet. A lot of people don't know that. They think there's a muffler back there. There isn't. Now, all the carbon fiber parts I got from Vlad and the ones I made, I hand-made several of the ones that are on here. Every one of them has held up well. They've really stood the test of time. Now, anytime we're shooting into the sun and the shadows, and we're going in the sun, out of the sun, all these backward areas, that sun can really get in your eyes and really be challenging when you're headed right at it.
And because I wear prescription sunglasses, I can't use a tinted face shield on these really sunny days. So it's a compromise. I've tried the one that changes in the sun. I didn't like it. Having a face shield that you're comfortable with and a set of good glasses, sometimes it's tricky to get it right. Now, for me, it's just a personal thing. At 79 years old, I get on a motorcycle, and the first thing I want to be is comfortable. I don't want to be at the end of 3 or 4 hours of riding. I don't want to be like a wet dish rag that has to be wrung out. And getting the ergonomics right on this bike, they were right from the factory for me. So maybe they used a guy my size or my who knows what. Usually the ergonomics are just the bars are a little bit uncomfortable or the pegs are a little too high or something. But the combination of having the ergonomics right and having, well, a nice fact, getting 50 miles to the gallon, you're not looking for a gas station every time you turn around, and having these back roads to ride on, and having that Valentine radar detector. When you combine all those things, For me, that equals a day out on the bike that I know is going to be good, it's going to be safe, I'm going to have fun, and no tickets.
And there's a lot of sections here where it's just populated houses, and it's so nice to be able to just sneak through. Stealth. It's very quiet. And I remember the days riding in Harriman Park with super loud exhausts, and other guys, when you have a group of 3 or 4 bikes, well, you could tell when we left Rutherford, it was terrible. And having these bikes with quiet mufflers, well, it's always in your favor. And it was 2 years of small details and making carbon parts, fitting that windshield, getting it to lay back more, painting parts that weren't painted, polishing things that weren't polished. But boy, at the end of that time, I have bonded with this bike.
And almost every little custom part on this bike that I made or bought or got from Vlad, it's added to my enjoyment of having a bike my own. Polishing that exhaust was a labor of love, but the biggest labor of love of all was painting the wheels. And luckily, all the videos of how we did it are out on the channel.
And anytime I ride this area of the country, I think how blessed I am to be living in a place where there are nice roads and relatively low traffic, low law enforcement, and just absolutely beautiful scenery all year long.
So baby T-Rex behaved well today. Radar detector saved our bacon a few times. The Michelin 6s, I always am amazed how good they are. And many of the people that wait a long time to try them, when they ultimately try them, they're really impressed. And the other thing I like, because I mount my own tires, they're the easiest tires ever to mount, because they're a soft carcass tire. So Baby T-Rex is his nickname, and maybe you have a great little nickname, cute name for your bike too. Now, if you're new to our channel, we have a very, very eclectic channel. One of the new features we have now is some of the videos are grouped into groups that you can access all the videos for one category in one mouse click. And it should be very convenient and very handy. Just check out the feature on the main screen playlist. And thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. We appreciate your support, and it makes this channel possible with all the things we do, the painting, the wheels, the polishing. And please take a second or two and hit the like button. And thanks everyone for watching.